Hello students. So today we will be continuing our 10th lecture of this series. The topic for today's lecture is unpaired pressure vessels and end covers of cylinders. Right? Uh, the topic belongs to the subject machine design and the subject code is AME 603. The subject is designed as per MACOUT syllabus. The subject code also is as per MACOUT syllabus. I'm educated on my Handa, so without wasting any time, let's begin. First of all, first of all, let's talk about unpaired pressure vessels, right? What are these things? What are unpaired pressure vessels? An unpaired pressure vessel is defined as a vessel or a pipeline for carrying, storing, or receiving steam, gases, or liquids as pressure above the atmospheric pressure. So basically, if there is a vessel which is carrying all these things and that does not have fire in it, but the pressure inside this vessel are more than the atmospheric pressure, these are called unpaired pressure vessels, right? Such pressure vessels are designed according to national or international standard codes, international codes. The national code would be ISO, the international code would be ASM. Okay, ASME stands for American Society of Mechanical Engineers. ISO stands for India Standard uh, Indian Standard Organization. Right. So the third one is what Indian Standard Code for pressure vessel gives the design procedure for welded pressure vessels that are made of ferrous material and subjected to internal pressure from 1 kg of centimeter square to 200 kg of centimeter. Right? Now, 1 kg of centimeter square as in 9.8 Newton, or let's just say 10 Newton per centimeter square. That means 10 Newton per centimeter square means 0, 1 centimeter is equal to, right? 1 centimeter is equal to 10 to the power minus 1 meter. So centimeter square is equal to 10 to the minus 2 millimeter. So then that is okay, 0.1 MP. It ranges from 0.1 MP to 200 centimeters square. That would be what 20 MP. Right? 0.1 MP to 20 MP. Within this, the pressure vessels are designed as per Indian standard code, right? The small vessels with diameter less than 150 ml or water containers with capacities of less than 500 liters do not come under the scope of this code. The code does not include the code does not include steam boilers, nuclear pressure vessels, or hot water storage. Right? So let's just go to the next one. Here, as you can see, there are four letters A, B, C, and D, right? What are these things? A, B, C, D are showing four categories of welded joints. There are four categories: category A, category B, category C, and category D. Basically, category A represents the longitudinal joints, category B represents the circumferential joints, category C represents when there is a flange or flat plate which is being joined with the shell like this or this, right? And category D represents when there is a outer channel or outer way is being joined with the shell like this, right? This is the outer channel or outer passage. This is being joined with the shell, right? This is your category D way. Also, do remember that the design pressure is always 5% more than the maximum working pressure. So, if the maximum working pressure is 1 MPa, the design pressure would be 1.05 MPa. Clear? Now, let's go to the next slide. Here, whatever is written, I have already mentioned it. I have already told it. what does category A, B, and C, D cover or represents, right? So let's just move on to the next slide. We can pause here and read it, but I will just move to the next slide. Now here, the what is the efficiency of the of a welding joint, right, or a welded joint? So the term welded joint efficiency is often used in pressure vessel design. It is defined as the ratio of the strength of the welded joint to the strength of the plates, right? The magnitude of welded joint efficiency eta depends upon two factors: the type of welded weld and the method of welded inspection, right? So the type of welded joint can be defined in three categories. One is double welded butt joint, where you join is from both sides, you weld it from the both sides. Second is single welded butt joint. Here you weld it from this side and you use a backing strip here. So single welded butt joint with backing strip. And third is single welded butt joint without backing strip. Right? So there is no backing strip over here. Clear? And also this is depending on the type of weld. The second, and there is another thing, that is welded inspection, depending upon the weld inspection. So there are three kind of inspection. One is with uh, complete radiography or through radiography. One is complete radiography or through radiography. Another one is spot radiography, and third one is without radiography. Right? There are three kind of inspection. So depending upon those two, we decide the value of eta. How? By using this table. You can see if there is a double welded butt joint and it is fully radiographed, the value of eta will be 1. That means the joint is 100% efficient. But suppose there is a backing strap, there is a single welded butt joint with backing strap and no radiography, then the eta or the value joint efficiency will be 0.6. Clear? Alright. Now, in case of thin vessels, in case of thin cylinders, right, the thickness of the cylinder is PIDI by 2 sigma T eta, which is your welding efficiency, minus PI into CA. CA gives the corrosion resistance. This is the thickness of the weld, right? This is the thickness of this weld. Okay, that is PIDI by 2 sigma T eta minus PI plus CA. Yes. So the thickness of the spherical shell will be given by how? The thickness of the spherical shell will be given by T is equal to Pi di by 4 sigma T eta minus Pi plus Ca. Yes, where Ca represents the corrosion allowance and eta is the efficiency of the joint, Pi is the internal pressure, Ti is the internal diameter of the shell. Okay. And also, while you will be designing, do remember the value of sigma t is either ultimate tensile strength divided by 3 or yield strength divided by 1.5. Now, for a brittle material, there is no yield strength, right? So we take 2% line of the proof strength, and this is called the yield strength. Clear? Okay. Now let's go to the next slide. Also, there are multiple type of enclosures. Now let's come to the enclosures, right? So there are multiple types of enclosures. One can be hemispherical, can be semi-ellipsoidal, can be horizontal, or can be conical, right? So it is to be noted that these two, hemispherical and semi-ellipsoidal, these two kind of enclosures are used when the cylinder is vertical, and this kind of this kind of head is used or enclosure is used when the cylinder is horizontal. Okay. Now, in case of hemispherical head, the value of thickness for the end would be PIRI by 2 sigma T eta minus 0.2 Pi plus Ca. Okay. In case of semi-ellipsoidal, the value of T would be this: Pi di by 2 sigma T eta minus 0.2 Pi plus Ca, and the value of SF, this SF would be 3T, okay, or 20 mm, whichever is more. So if the value is less than 6.67, if the value of T is less than 6.67, then we will take SFS 20 mm, otherwise we will be taking SFS 3T. Okay, clear. Now the third one is torus spherical. For this, the value of T would be this much, 0.885 PIL by sigma T eta minus 0.1 PI plus C, right? And value of this R will be 0.06 L. Now the point to remember is the value of L will be given, right? Or the value of T and eta will be given, and you have to calculate the value of L. Clear? Okay. Now let's go to the next slide, where there is another type of closure is there, that is conical closure. Here the cone angle would be alpha. The value of alpha is limited to 30 degree, which is less than 30 degree, not more than 30 degree, right? So the thickness would be PIDI by 2 cos alpha sigma t eta minus 0.6 pl plus Ca. Clear? All right. Now, uh, okay, so whatever I told you, that the in case of vertical cylinder, there will be hemispherical and ellipsoidal layers, and in case of horizontal cylinders, there will be torus spherical layers. Right? So that is it. There is nothing more written over here. So with this, I think I have completed or covered this module thoroughly. This is a numerical for it. Try to solve this at your home. Okay. So that's it for today. I think you have liked this. I hope you have liked this lecture. If there is any feedback, let me know in the comment section. And if you think that this lecture might help any of your friends, please share it with them. Give it a thumbs up. Give it a like if you really liked this lecture. Uh, Take care of yourself and your family, friends. Stay at home, study well, stay safe. Thank you.